later. When that bike is in motion, get those feet up. I'm assuming you all quit being members of the Foot Draggers Riding Club. Now I'm going to show you, if you notice these dotted lines we have here, imagine if you would, they're curbs. This is 24 feet wide. That's your average side street. This bike turns in less than 18 feet. So 24 feet is a ton of room, as long as you use technique. Now I'm going to show you the average rider, what he does and why he has a problem. I'm cruising down the road, cruising along, I'm on a poker run, cruising down, beautiful day like today. I look over, I catch a glimpse of my reflection in the storefront window. You've all done it. Oh yeah, don't tell me you haven't. Sure, you're cruising along, you say, that's me. I look like a biker. Look at me, I got a do-rag. I got a black vest on, I must be a biker. One bad looking biker dude too. Now he ain't paying attention. Before you know it, he misses his turn on the poker run. Now he looks down the road, he sees there's no intersection for 2 miles. He wants to get that card, so he's got to make the dreaded U-turn. Now the untrained rider, he's afraid of these curbs, so he starts his U-turn about 4 feet away from the curb. He just lost 4 feet of the U-turn space. Next thing he does, he doesn't want to hit that curb, so he stares right at it. I told you the bike goes wherever you look, hands follow the eyes. He starts to stare at that curb, and it's like an unknown force is pulling him to the very thing he doesn't want to hit. The more he looks there, the more he goes there. And finally, he gets about here, he can't turn the bars, he gets mad. He said they should make these streets bigger because now he's got to back up an 850-pound bike. That ain't easy, and he's struggling. And he's got his wife on the back. You know what's going to happen now? Don't ever do this, but he does it. He's going to take it out on her. He says, honey, are you putting on some weight? She says, well, you fat bastard. You're the one who got thrown out of the Chinese buffet, not me. Remember what that guy said? He told you, never come back round eyes. You eat too much, I lose money on you. She says, you know what your problem is? You should have listened to that motorman guy, because he was whipping U-turns like nothing, but you were too busy looking at his skinny blonde wife with the tight black pants. That's how you do it. And he knows she's getting mad. He tries to get out of it. He says, no, honey, I don't mean that you're fat, but, you know, since you got those implants in, that's a lot of weight up high on the back of the bike. She says, but who told me to get the breast implant? You're the one that said, honey, if it's the same price, get the biggest ones they got. That's what I did, and now you want to blame it on me? And he gets distracted. He hits the front brake. The bike tips over. She's laying there on the ground. She says, look what you did now. You know that voice? He's got to get in the last word. He said, well, with your big ass, you should have bounced right back up again. And now, oh, we got a full-blown domestic situation. When good rides go bad, they can make a reality TV show out of that. Don't let it be you. I'm going to show you the easy way to do this. When I'm going to make a U-turn, I pick what I call a pivot point. That's simply the place where I'm going to start my U-turn. I'm going to make sure it's as close to this curb as possible. That way, if I screw up, I got the whole 24 feet to screw up in. As soon as my front tire gets here, I would turn my head and eyes and look as far back that way as possible. The further I turn my head and eyes, the tighter the turn is going to be. I'll be in the friction zone. A little bit of pressure on the rear brake, and you can avoid all the screaming, yelling, and fighting and arguing. As a hush falls over the crowd, I know I'm going to get a big round of applause for this U-turn. I feel it. I just feel it. You know, there's some folks who were here at the last show. I see a couple of you were here. Did you bring your friends this time? You did? You bet you told them you'd get them in free, you cheap bastards. All right. There we go. Turn my head and eyes. Look at that. Got plenty of room, right? 6, 8 feet to spare. I'm telling you, the bike turns at 18 feet. Your average side street is 24. That is a whole bunch of room. If the street's only 20 foot wide, all I got to do is lean the bike just a little bit further. No problem at all, but I know there's still bikers out there being skeptical. I can read some of your minds. I've been doing this a long time. I know what some of you think of this guy right here. He's thinking, I'd love to see this guy fall on his ass just once. Oh, you were thinking that too? But the guy over here is saying, hang on, wait a minute. I ride with my wife on the back of the bike. And it ain't that easy when you got 2 people. He's saying, I want to see you do this stuff with your wife on the back of the motorcycle, because when my wife is back there and I got to make a U-turn, I feel like I'm docking the Queen Mary. I need a tugboat to help me out. So let me see you do some of this stuff with your wife on the back of the bike. Now, this is for the skeptics, okay. My wife has complete utter confidence in my abilities. She's not afraid to get on this motorcycle. And I want you to know, if we got any single guys out there knowing these techniques, has an extremely high CDI factor. CDI stands for chicks, dig it. Come on, girls, you want to get on a bike with a guy who's dragging his feet, the handlebars are shaking, he's looking down? Of course not. I question his masculinity. I think he's got a little sugar in his tank and he's got to drag his feet. Don't get on that bike. And one more thing, I've been doing these demonstrations for a while. When I first started, she was a slim, trim, 110 pounds, and even though she's bloomed up to 112, it doesn't matter. Here we go. U-turn, 2 people on the bike, no screaming, yelling, fighting, and arguing. Look at that. You could applaud, it's okay. Hey, this show is free. One more time, because some of you might think, well, it can't be that easy, but it is. I'm going to show you this right over here. Turn my head nice, friction zone, a little bit of rear brake, and look at that. Ain't nothing to it, even the full lock turns. Now, we got any lady riders here? Couple of them. Guy back here raises it. I said lady riders. Hey, it's okay, this is the millennium. You can do anything you want to do. You want to dress like a woman. Because some women think that they can't handle a heavyweight motorcycle. They think size or strength has some bearing on their abilities. That's not the case. And to prove that to you, I want to introduce you to a young lady, co-star Ride Like a Pro 5, Marianne Hamilton. Give her a hand. Come on out here, Marianne. Show them what you got, kid. She loves doing this because she embarrasses guys that have been riding for 20, 30 years. They can't handle their bike like they see here. Anybody can do it as long as they know the techniques. Takes about 3 or 4 hours to master these skills. In my video, I show you this in a step-by-step approach so you can't possibly go wrong. Now, Marianne, I heard when I rode by that back there, some wise guy said, look how skinny his wife is. He said, what happens if your wife is big boned? What do you do then?
I don't know.
Well,
what do you do?
I think that if you let Tim, who's 190 pounds, get on the back of your bike, these people will then be believers that weight, size, strength has nothing to do with it. Tim, I know this is unusual, but would you
My
mind?
insurance is not paid up.
Chicken.
Come on, get on the back. Let's get him on there.
I'm not going to ride behind a woman.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, don't you think?
Okay, I'll do it once. I'll take one for the team.
Attaboy.
All right, you ready, Buttercup?
Okay, sweet cheeks. You ready? You let me know when you're all ready. Hang on.
Hold on tight.
Okay, I'm holding on tight. Hey, you got to take one for the team, right?
Yeah, he's going to use the built-in handles. He likes to do that.
Hey, you know I'm here to support you, right?
I know. You hang on there. See, look at that, folks. It doesn't matter. See, he's still hanging on, too.
Don't try this at home.
See, look. We don't even need all 24 feet. Again, it's just nothing to do with size or strength. It's strictly technique. Once you know these techniques, you can do anything on any motorcycle. You can travel with someone behind you, no problem.
All right, I think you've embarrassed him
Oh,
enough.
I don't know. I think he likes being a biker babe.
That's what I'm afraid of. He likes it too much. Now, I want to introduce you to a couple more ladies. One being my wife, who's been with me in the shows for a couple of years. But I'm going to also introduce you to a young lady. Her name is Lynn. And Lynn is, she told me to say this, she's a 50-year-old grandmother. She also happens to have a broken ankle right now, but she still can ride like a pro. She says she got my DVD about a year ago, started practicing with her husband. And we're going to show off her skills, so give her a big hand. And in fact, I'll have all ladies in there. Let's do a little follow the leader. Lynn, you're going to lead. Go get